Where do I even begin to talk about this? This is the story about one of, if not the worst days of my life. This is the story about how I got banned from YouTube. So the last, at this point, 36 hours have been an absolute roller coaster. But unlike an actual roller coaster that has ups and downs, this one was mostly just downs. It was like a really big cliff that I jumped off. And instead of like having fun and like coming out smoothly at the end, I just smacked my nose on the rocks at the bottom. It's it's been an ordeal. I've come through it somehow. Clearly, that's how you're seeing this video now. I mean, I've got the channel back, but to get to this point, geez, I wouldn't wish this on really anyone. So for those of you who don't know, yesterday I woke up to an email from YouTube saying that my account had been suspended for a breach of community guidelines. That was it. That was the first I heard about it and the last I heard about it, and there was never anything more. In fact, the email came through at 2:21 in the morning, and it gave me no reason other than breach of community guidelines, which prohibit spam and repetitive comments and all that kind of stuff. So no actual reason, just here's a general overview of what these guidelines are. You're in breach of it somehow, so instant ban. They breached their own terms of service, where they say that you'll be given warnings and then strikes, and after 3 strikes you get banned for 3 months or whatever. It went from me having a completely clean slate for both copyright and community guidelines to being banned. So I went from perfect to non-existent while I was asleep. That was the most shocking and awful thing, a wake up I've ever had. I will never ever forget rolling over, looking at my phone and thinking, that's a little bit more Twitter notifications than I would probably be expecting. And I looked at my phone, and clearly I wear glasses, so I kind of had to squint at it. I didn't have my glasses on yet, and the top notification of like the 50 that were there said, hey at JaWoodle, any official word on why your channel was terminated? And then everything just stopped. God, even thinking about it now makes my stomach churn, and it doesn't make me feel good at all. But yeah, that was my first introduction to there being anything wrong on the channel. And that was about at like 9 a.m. On the day. So 7 hours after my channel had been taken down. And YouTube had just sent me an email saying that I was done and that they had suspended my account, and that was it. I could appeal, but that was the only option I had available to me. So, of course, I had to jump on Twitter really quickly and tell everyone that I am now awake. I have seen this. I will try and figure this out. I assumed it was going to be okay. So I lodged my appeal and kind of, reassured myself that it must just be an error. Clearly this shouldn't happen. You should never go from being crystal clear in the blue, green ticks everywhere, to being completely banned and removed from the platform. So surely there must be an error, and I'll appeal and it will be fine, because they say that appeals are looked over by an actual human. So I put faith in the YouTube system, and it turned out that was a horrible idea for me to do, because an hour later I was told that my suspension stood and that I wasn't allowed to appeal a second time and that I wasn't allowed to make a new account. I was done. I was banned. I was off YouTube. When I read that second email, that was the lowest kind of point. That's when it sunk in that everything was gone. That everything that I had worked for years, thousands of hours of effort and editing and working and recording and refining, trying to make the best content that I can, all of that was gone. And there was nothing that I could do about it. After that appeal, after that one appeal that I got, that some computer somewhere said that, sorry, catch you later, mate. After that, I had no other options, no official options. There's no one, I can't call YouTube. I can't email YouTube. I jumped on Twitter and lost my freaking mind and tagged every YouTube account I could find, and there was no reply. I disappeared. And that was a horrible feeling. To the point where I remember sitting here and I was trying to type something. I was trying to type a message to one of my mates because I clearly needed some support. So I was trying to type a message, and I remember looking at my keyboard, trying to focus on the keys, and I couldn't see the keys anymore. I all I could see was like my eyes were shifting left and right very, very quickly. I couldn't focus. It felt like I had been detached from me inside my head. And that was the worst feeling I can ever remember having. And it's still clear as day to me right now. I think something broke inside me, but I was messed up. So that was it. You can still see on my Twitter account the kind of train of thought as that day went on. So by about midday, for me, I had no YouTube. I was gone. I was completely deplatformed. All I had was my Twitter with maybe 350 followers at that point. Not many at all. Not enough to cause a stir in any way, shape or form. So I didn't know what to do. I had this massive company that I am almost completely reliant on, who an AI in their system somewhere decided that I shouldn't exist anymore. Everything I had done was worth nothing, and I was done. A computer somewhere decided that, and I had no options available to me at all. So I took to Twitter, posted screenshots of the emails, pleaded with the universe to give me any sort of hope or way back from this. I spoke to some of my other creator friends. I was like, what the fuck is happening to me? Like, how is this a real thing? It's like, it's a weird mix of like disbelief and realizing that it's real life. It's a weird spot to be in, because I could sit there and say, I don't believe this is happening, but it was happening. It was all of my nightmares rolled into one, and there was nothing that I could do about it at all. Nothing. So that was about the deepest and darkest that hole got. After getting that appeal email that said that they were standing by their decision to suspend my account and I couldn't appeal again and catch you later, the couple of hours after that were awful. I posted the last couple of things on Twitter and I put everything down. I closed everything on my computer. I put my phone to the side. I just disconnected from the world. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to have anything to do with anything. I just wanted to not be me in that moment. And there was no way that I could escape any of it. I mean, I could turn everything off and get away from it in that way, but like, it's still in my head. I still knew it was happening. And I couldn't make that make sense in my head. It was not like there was, the email said, here is the reason you're getting suspended. And I can look at it and go, shit. I mean, I stuffed up somewhere. I'll put my hand up and I'll wear that and say I did the wrong thing. If it was a warning or something, that would still suck. But having nothing was the worst feeling. So I turned everything off. I jumped on Armor 3. Not really a massive armor guy, but it's so in depth that it was enough to pull me away and give me something else to focus on. So I jumped on there with Nathan from Duck Duck Goose back in the day, still one of my best mates, and he was amazing to me, and he played that game with me all day. He kept me distracted. When I play games with my mates, it's like it's a whole nother world to me. So he distracted me, he teased me, he stole my fucking jet and crashed it into a building, because that's what he does. But the things that always happen normally happened there. And it meant that I could distract myself from my world imploding everywhere else. So while this was going on, that's when Twitter started. So as I said, when all this stuff went down originally, I tweeted at all the YouTube accounts and said, please give me some sort of answer at what's going on here. Please fix this mistake. Like, it's clearly a mistake. Please just give me my channel back. And I heard absolutely nothing. So I put out maybe like 10 or something tweets in the morning. There was still, I had like a bunch of messages from people asking me what happened to the channel, which was the first kind of inclination that there was some sort of following there, but I didn't really think about that. I was focusing on other things. But then I put these tweets out and then went and distracted myself with a game. But that's when people started to take notice. Now, as I said, I only had like 350 followers on Twitter. Not a massive, not much at all in the terms of Twitter. I mean, come on, it's only 3 digits. But like, to me, 350 is a massive number over there. And those 350 include a couple of other YouTube creators. And slowly things started to snowball, much, much further and bigger than I ever really expected to happen. So while I was off playing games and deliberately ignoring my phone, unless waiting for an email to come in just to say, oh, sorry, we got it wrong, here's the channel back, Twitter was going off its face. Off its absolute face. Now, 350 followers is a lot, but I was getting hundreds and hundreds of notifications. Retweets, likes, comments, being tagged in things, people tagging me in YouTube asking what's going on. There was more people talking about me at that point than I've ever really thought would be possible. To the point where I'm not sure if I actually showed up in trending for Twitter, but I was trending through the Google searches. Like, people searching me had peaked at 100. Like, that was when I saw that graph, I couldn't really believe it. I knew there was a lot of things happening on Twitter, but seeing that big spike made me realize that there might be a chance that I might get this back. So as this snowball grew and grew and grew and got bigger and bigger and bigger names started getting involved. People with like hundreds of thousands of followers and subscribers and stuff started getting involved and asking for answers, which was a little weird for me, seeing these names that I've seen elsewhere talking about me. That's another thing that really blew my mind, kind of thing. So this snowball built and built and built and got big enough that eventually we heard from YouTube very, very early in the next morning. So I got banned at 2 o'clock in the morning the previous night. The whole day, heard nothing. Nothing happened at all. Got through to the next morning at 10 to 3 in the morning. YouTube replied to me on Twitter and said, we're looking into it. And that moment, a full 24 hours from me being banned, that was the moment I thought I had a chance. Everything before then, I was looking at the Twitter stuff and I was like, yes, this is very, very nice. And I appreciate all of the love and effort people are trying to put in. But there is every chance that YouTube won't care or pay attention or see it. I mean, it's a big company with a lot of people. Like, what are the chances I'm going to get their attention? What are the chances their little, like, it's like Sauron, Lord of the Rings, you know, like it's scanning over Mordor. What are the chances that little glow of YouTube light will pass over me for long enough for them to notice what's happening? I didn't think it was actually going to happen, but then I saw their reply and it just said, we are looking into this, and suddenly I could breathe again. It felt like there might be an end to that tunnel. And I can't describe that feeling other than, I could breathe. I could suddenly actually breathe in some air and focus on the next task. There was something to aim for. So after that happened, things actually moved very, very quickly. That was at 10 to 3 in the morning for me. I was talking to the guys on the JaWoodle Legends Discord, the Patreon Discord, and I just said to them, like, all right, guys, like, we're just going to pick this up tomorrow. I'm tired. I'm not going to be able to sleep, but I have to try. I'm going to sleep. So as soon as I put my head down and closed my eyes, my phone was going nuts. It was like vibrating itself, trying to kill itself on my bedside table. And there was enough of it that I thought, oh, well, I'll quickly just check what's going on and I'll put it in do not disturb mode so I can get some sleep. So it was literally the last thing I was going to do before turning off my phone from the outside world. And there it was, the tweet from YouTube saying they're looking into it. So that was 10 to 3 in the morning. So then I immediately was not going to sleep. That was definitely not going to happen. If I had any chance before, that was gone. So I spent the next hour just in the Discord server with my legends on Patreon, the Legends Discord server, just chatting to them, trying to keep my mind away from things for the next hour and a bit. It took about an hour and a half before I got another response from them. So for that whole time, we're waiting and just hoping for something else from YouTube. Still not sure if they were going to uphold the ban or not, or what was going to happen. And then after about an hour and a half, I said to the guys again, I'm like, all right, look, it's past 4 in the morning now. I need to sleep because I have to do stuff tomorrow. I have to try. So once again, I signed off. I put my head on the pillow and I was actually just starting to drift off when my phone vibrated again. Now, I'd turned off notifications to Twitter at that point and to Discord and to YouTube itself and everything. The only thing that was going to wake me up was a phone call or an email. And my phone vibrated. And I looked over, once again, no glasses, kind of squinted at it with a bright light in the middle of a dark room. And I saw that it was an email from YouTube. And then, just like when I got the first email, I stopped. My heart stopped. But this time it wasn't because I was scared. It was because I had the answer in front of me and I didn't know what it was going to be. Whatever I read there dictated the foreseeable future of my life. Now, it's a little scary, a little bit horrifying, but also a massive adrenaline kick. And I mean, if my heart wasn't, stopping from paralysis before, it was definitely stopping then. I'm aware that adrenaline makes your heart beat faster or whatever. Moving on. So clearly that email said the best words I've ever seen. And they said they were going to unsuspend my account because they had not found any breach of the community guidelines for my channel. I had my channel back. I mean, sure, I didn't have any sort of rhyme or reason or excuse or anything about what had just happened to me, what had taken my day and blown it to fucking hell. There was nothing. There was no excuses, no anything that I could gather out of that to try and prevent this from happening again. But for it to happen again, I had to have my account, and I had that. So I was taking the positives where I got it. That was 4:30 in the morning, and I was deliriously happy. So clearly, once I got this email, I took some screenshots of it and posted it to Twitter, and I told the army that had amassed over there, were tweeting about this, that it was okay. They had achieved their goal. They had saved JaWoodle, which was a hashtag at one point. Also, justice for JaWoodle. There's a couple of hashtags floating around with my name in it that I didn't create, and that was awesome. That was when that started happening. That was a real kick in the soul to get me feeling good about things again. But that's kind of where it ended. I posted that screenshot. I felt good again, and I finally got to go to sleep. When that happened, I actually just turned my phone straight off. I wasn't going to deal with it anymore. Everything was done. I was out. I was sleeping. The world was back to normal. I mean, it's almost back to normal. There's still a lot of monetization stuff that I have to do to try and get it back to where it was. In fact, the damage to the channel will probably be a little bit more lasting than I would like it to be, because we were in a really good patch of momentum there. Things were growing. Things were doing really, really well. We were on the uptick. And then this happened, and it's just like the cliff that I fell off when I read that email. It just went straight down to zero. So hopefully the momentum can continue on. There was subscriber growth and view growth and watch time growth. Everything was on the up. And I'm really hoping we can continue that. Please. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But, I mean, we're taking each battle one step at a time. So that brings us to now. I have the channel back. We're working on getting things put back to normal. Everything seems to be okay, which means that I have to do what I've been most excited to do all day ever since that I found out I had the channel back, and that is make this video to tell you guys what happened, but to most of all, thank every single one of you for fighting for me. I mean, 10,000 subscribers is a lot. It's a big number. It's hard to kind of put an image in your head about how many that actually is. But having that Twitter notification just scroll across my phone, every time there would be a double digits worth of notifications every refresh that I did. Just that immense number of support coming through. That's not really a grammatically correct sentence, is it? But that massive number of supporters coming through and trying to get me back I mean, as I said, it was the darkest place that I can remember being, but that was the thing that kept me sane, really. That brought me back. It was rough there, but the love on Twitter and especially as well that Patreon Discord server. I mean, while the world was imploding on Discord, on Twitter rather, while that was all going in and fighting to get me back, the guys on the Patreon Discord took it upon themselves to make me forget about that. They gave me a place to get away and refresh and not think about the turmoil that I was in. Kind of like a little island of just good times and Anna Kendrick memes and a weird fetish for Roxanne from Goofy Movie that we might have to have some more talks about a little bit later on. But just that little sanctuary for me to go and feel normal again was invaluable to me. The support on Twitter, just as invaluable, but those two kind of pillars really just was all I had. And I cannot thank you guys enough for doing that. it literally blew my mind, not literally, figuratively blew my mind at how much support there actually was. I was kind of expecting when this all went down that I would just be forgotten, you know, like, well, whatever. I'm not that big of a channel. You know, it's only 10,000. Who's going to notice if that channel disappears? It might be a hubbub for 5 minutes and then that's it. Game over. See you later. Don't ever come back. I fully expected that I was going to be forgotten, but I wasn't. People noticed that I wasn't there. People wanted me back. People missed me. And anyone will tell you, being missed is the ultimate good feeling. I would also be super duper remiss if I didn't mention and thank wholeheartedly the support circles I have outside of the internet. So like Nathan, I talked about before, some of my other friends, my girlfriend, everyone who's involved in my real life that gave me an escape from the internet and told me it was going to get better when I didn't believe it would. I can't thank you enough. I mean, you put up with me on a day-to-day basis, like in real life, and I'm super annoying for half an hour of a video. Imagine having to deal with this all the time. Fuck that. So yes, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And that kind of brings us to now. I mean, the channel's back now. We've got a lot of work to do to try and get it back to where it was. The monetization's a little bit cooked, but I'm hoping I can work through that and not take too much of a hit. The Patreon is still going. Only had one person drop out of Patreon when the channel disappeared. So that shows that not only are they, you know, massive supporters of me, but also they're willing to stick with me through what could appear to be the end of everything YouTube related, and the whole reason that they're there supporting me in the first place. So those guys are invaluable. Twitter was invaluable. It's all just kind of come around. It came up quickly. It's gone away quickly. I do kind of wonder. I mean, I was like a couple of months ago, I was at 1,500 subscribers. And if this happened to me then, would I have just disappeared? Would anyone have noticed if a smaller channel like that just disappeared overnight? I mean, you know, who would I tweet to? I had like 80 followers on Twitter back then. Like who would actually notice that kind of channel? I do kind of wonder if, like, I got banned, but I came back. So are there other channels out there that just disappeared the other night and no one's ever going to hear from them again? You know, they've tweeted out to the void and said, I'm gone, someone help, but no one heard them. It's kind of depressing to think about. Who knows? Who knows how many channels disappear all the time and no one ever knows about it? God, now I really am depressed. Anyway, so moving on from here, I'm going to put this video out, obviously, and then take a little bit of time just to kind of get my head right about the whole YouTube thing. I'm not sure how I feel about being underneath a company that can do this immediately. Like, how do you keep doing this knowing that YouTube at any moment can just crumble the house around you? And not even a human sitting there thinking like, fuck this guy in particular, push the big red button and he gets blown up in the internet world. But like a computer somewhere decided that I needed to disappear. And then another computer agreed with that first computer and said, yeah, nah, catch you later. So that is a very scary thought, to know that my life and how my life goes forward is completely dependent on an algorithm somewhere that I know nothing about. That's horrifying. But that being said, I do YouTube because I love it. Everything that comes with it is awesome and it makes it even better. But first and foremost, I enjoy making content that makes people laugh. Sure, I don't make everyone laugh all the time. I get that. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Maybe I'll be a cup of coffee. Who knows? I might be like a soy latte. If you drink what you want to drink, and if I'm what you want to drink, slurp me up. But if I'm not, that's fine too. So I do it because I want to make people laugh. I'm just going to have to deal with YouTube. People much bigger than me with much bigger hammers have made a lot more noise than I'm ever going to make about it, and it stayed the same. So I guess we just hope it doesn't happen again. I don't know why it happened the first time. I don't know how to prevent it happening another time. I've taken every precaution I have, like the house party game videos that I made. There was like 12 of them or something. Pretty thorough playthrough of that, which was very, very popular. Hundreds of thousands of views across those videos. They're gone now. I deleted them. It's not worth the risk to me to have those channels there. it's not those channels, those videos there. Like, I don't know, like they were demonetized and censored and age restricted. I did everything I could as a creator to keep them appropriate for their appropriate audience. But I don't know if somewhere in the back catalog of YouTube's programming, they see that and they think, nah, this guy's not what we want on the platform, so we'll get rid of him. So they're gone now. Anything that I thought might be a little bit contentious is gone. I've had to kind of clean up a couple of things here and there, but for the most part, it stays exactly the same. And I'll keep going on the same as I was before. And if I get banned again, who knows? Maybe I'll be bigger then, and I'll have even more of a following, and I won't have to rely on the luck of Twitter seeing me, and I can get enough of a snowball going with just my following. Who knows? Fingers crossed I can get the growth and momentum back that I've just lost. But that's all for the future. And no one knows the future. So I can only do what I'm going to do right now, and that is continue to make the same the same content, rather, that I've always been doing. That's what you guys are here for. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. But I needed to make this video just to thank you, everyone who had a hand and put in the effort and tweeted and emailed and messaged and did everything that they could to get me back. I owe you so much, and there is nothing I could ever do to make it up to you. Thank you. Really. Thank you.